Broadcasters live. Welcome to the Tale of Two Brocasts. We're going to be talking about Star Wars today. Um, yeah. So welcome. I'm
We've
Matt.
all seen them all.
We've seen them all.
Some of us younger don't
Some of us
remember
older.
seeing them for the first time, but still seen them all. I find this funny because Dad, well, he hates all the new ones, episodes 1, 2, and 3. The last.
Really, I never really got his opinion on the new ones, so
He hates them.
Really?
He hates them without a doubt. Jar Jar, he would kill that guy. He hates him.
I would also kill that guy. I hate him. And also, conversation with Colin over here, he agrees with us on that one. Colin Moriarty of IGN. He is a hatred for Jar Jar Binks and especially General Grievous.
This is true. I personally like the new ones.
I was gonna say because I mean you grew up like when the first one came
out. They were new for me. Every single one was new in a theater, whereas the first four.
Well, I don't think even like you saw the first four, but like you had to have been like what 5 when
you mean the first 3? But the first 3, yeah, they were passed down through you guys. It wasn't so much which was still cool, but the fact that I was old enough to realize that there's something new in Star Wars and it's monumental in history. Also, the fact I didn't love Episode 1, Phantom Menace, but I did love the second and third episode, Clone Wars, and I'm blanking on the name of the newest.
Revenge of the Sith.
No. That is one of your 3. Those are 4, 5.
No. That's Return of the Jedi. Well, you know what? We got the internet.
We do have a device called a computer, and there's a search engine called Google that we can use.
That was also helping us out with their Google Hangouts. It's so great. Sponsor
shout out, product placement.
If you would like to hear more about Google, go to google.com. You moron. Yes, the movie is called Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith, released in 2005. How old were you when that came out?
Well, I was born in '93, so 12.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
1999 is when I was 10 years old when Episode 1 came out. I felt like I was older then.
I felt like I was really young. I mean, I remember it, but I remember I was young. Well, when was Episode 6 released in theaters?
2005.
No. Episode 6.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. I go by episode names. I don't go by.
Sorry. I'm just it's correct. 1983, before I was even born.
Yeah, before I was. That's a big jump.
Like when Dad was in college. Yeah, I mean, like there's a big gap. I mean, it's kind of the gap that's happening right now. I mean, 10 years about.
Yeah.
Like Episode 7 is going to come out in 2015, I'm assuming.
They're just going to make sure that everybody has a childhood with their own 3 episodes of Star Wars.
Yeah. So I just would like to see.
They're going to put another 3 on.
Yeah. And that's kind of the sad thing about these things that we like so much.
You're nervous.
When it first come out, you just love it so much, and you're like, this is amazing. But you don't really think about it when it first comes out that, even though this is an awesome thing that somebody made, they're still out to make money. You know, even if it is their first, I mean, you kind of have to. It costs money to create this thing, so you have to at least not lose money on it, you know, or you're just becoming poorer for everyone's pleasure, you know. But then as you get farther along, they just keep exploiting it farther and farther to make as much money as possible out of it, which is kind of sad.
Isn't that's the way the world works, though? You just saying
it does.
Are sold out to Disney? Is that what bothers you?
I don't bother that. I know Disney will do a much better job than George Lucas ever did with the remakes.
Don't know if you're accurate on that. I believe George Lucas is a visionary.
Okay, he did a fantastic job.
I do believe that Disney has the technology to drive his vision forward. I do not believe that they can follow in the exact path that he had, but I understand what you're saying, and
a lot of people agree that his vision was great initially, but he was always always wanting to go back and edit what he created. And everyone's like, this is a masterpiece, don't mess with it. And then it released the special editions, which I know you watched because we had them on VHS. Like, that was our...
The one where you can see the pit of cartoon.
Sarlacc pit. The Sarlacc pit actually is like a mouth.
It came out of the thing, whereas the original one, there was none.
Yeah, or like the biggest issue I think everybody has with these special edition remastered is
The one with the
episode.
glowing Anakin.
No. That's another one. But
I think that was a plus. I like that they used the new Anakin.
I was okay with that, yeah, because you really had no connection to this guy who was inside the Darth Vader suit. I felt like I saw him for 2 seconds with his mask off, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was I was okay with that one, but I think the biggest one problem with people have is in the first episode 4, Star Wars: A New Hope, when Greedo goes to get Solo out of the cantina. He's like, "Come with me, or the job wants to kill you now." And they're sitting at that little booth, and originally, Solo just pulls his blaster out of his pocket under the table and just shoots him without anything happening. He's just like, "All right, I'm just gonna kill this guy." But in the remake, they have Greedo pull his gun out and just miss Solo before Solo shoots, so it looks like Han's defending himself, which that just ruins the character.
Do they not? I only remember Han shooting him under the table.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it because it was such a minute detail, but when someone pointed it out to me, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, but in both times, do they have a conversation where Greedo's speaking that foreign language?
Yeah.
They're both talking in both of them. Yeah, I think I remember the first one.
Yeah. Well, Greedo says in Greedo's language, and Han understands it, but Han just speaks it back in English.
I don't remember that Greedo ever pulled his gun. I just remember he just shot it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be. I mean, that's why I had my guitar teacher burn me a copy of the episodes 4, 5, and 6 of the Laserdisc version, which are the untouched originals. So I have them on DVD. I have the special edition and I have the original.
Probably shouldn't be talking about burning CDs or movies over the internet.
Probably not, but it's
a legality. We do not.
I actually purchased them. And I already owned them, so I was just getting another copy.
Okay. Well, in that case, I don't know if that's still okay, but FBI don't come after us.
You can't distribute it and try to make money off it or share it. I guess whatever. Anyways. FBI, go to hell.
Do we
want to listen to what Colin has to say?
I do, but 1 second. When you said you were sad that they're only out to make money, it was funny because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on the actor who played the original Anakin Skywalker, the kid from Phantom Menace, the first one, episode 1.
I remember you telling me about that.
And there's just a video of somebody has a camera in his face talking to him, just an interview. Whenever they made this interview, he's in his college years. He's this big, chubbier guy. He's not fat. He's
not unlike myself.
He's husky, sure. Anyway, but he's just he was kind of depressing, and he's just talking about how he's trying to do film, and he's like, everyone thinks I get royalties and I'm rich because of that movie, but that's not the case at all. And you're just like, you're so depressed to see this kid who's in a movie that you potentially love, although I didn't.
And even though we could debate all day, oh, it's not what Star Wars really is, or it's a totally different type of movie, but it still is a Star Wars, and still people lined up for ages to go see it, and it was still an iconic film, even if it did have guns and freaking stupid shit.
But I found that weird that Dad didn't like Jar Jar, but he was fine with the Ewoks and every other weird creature.
Oh, Dad hates the Ewoks too.
Really?
Yeah, he hates the Ewoks. He hates them.
So he hates anybody that's not a human.
Apparently, I think he's fine with little one weird alien thing, but I think a whole race of I don't know. But that's.
He said he was fine with the Cantina people. I think.
Yeah.
They're
I think the reason he didn't he's like, they're just a bunch of teddy bears.
Play that theme song again.
The other thing, though, I had this debate with Dad about the fact that when Star Wars came out originally, there's 50% of people hate Ewoks and 50% of people like the Ewoks. And this is why we came to this conclusion, was okay, all the 3 films came out within a span of what, let's see, 80... I think it's 77 to 83, so a span of 7 years or so.
6.
But if you were say you were 18 when the first one came out, which Dad probably was around that age, maybe a little younger, but by the time Return of the Jedi came out, it was this great film. I mean, it really wasn't like, I mean, it was tailored towards kids, but like, it really wasn't like kiddie, like cuddly stuff or whatever. But then like, if you're like older than 30, if you're older than like 20 when Return of the Jedi came out with the Ewoks, you hated them. But if you were younger than that, you liked them because they were just fun and goofy. But like if you were like a big fan and had been from the beginning, you're like, I don't want these.
They were basically trying to bridge the gap between as many ages as they could. So they threw that in there for the kids, but they tried to make it as serious as they could for the older people. That's hilarious. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I was like, I didn't really realize why he hated them, but he was older and like the first two never had anything like that. So
yeah. All right, well, let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
I think he's very, I see what he's saying because things can become bad with anything if it goes on too long.
Yeah.
Well, one example, I've heard people stop liking Breaking Bad because it's gotten so far. I know it's not that long of a series. I still love it. I still hang with it, but people are like, it got so dark and it was so hard to go darker, and they're still going darker, and it's just like you get nothing out of it. And
yeah. I mean, granted, that show was about meth. So
this guy is truly, I think he's looking into it more than most viewers of these movies would.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
I didn't read all the books. You haven't read all the books. I'm sure, 70%.
I only read
all the books.
Choose Your Own Adventure Star Wars books.
I remember those vividly.
Those were the best because I would just be like, all right, you just like all you had to do is just try not to die, and then you'd have to go back. You'd have like your fingers in 5 spots, and like
you die, and then you're like, I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. Go back. I did not decide to talk to the princess and get murdered. Let's pick a different choice. Yeah, brought to you by Google Chrome. Google Chromecast. It's awesome. But yeah.
Much cheaper than Apple TV.
Heck yeah, $35. You gotta buy it through Apple. It's an.
You have to buy Chromecast through Apple.
Yeah, through Google. Sorry.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But it's only if you buy it through like Amazon, it's like $80.
But it's not just displaying your screen; it's displaying just your Google browser, your Google Chrome browser.
Yeah. I mean, granted, the Apple TV you can just mirror your desktop or your iPad or your whatever. But this mirrors just the browser, or it's more for just video, in a sense.
How much does that run you?
$35.
And I know Apple TV goes $99.
100.
Yeah.
99.
9999.
9999.
All right. Well, let's hear our boy Superman defend my honor.
He's a huge fan of Superman and Smallville. Greg Miller. He's probably my favorite.
By the way, if you've never seen them, I grew up on Smallville.
I grew up with him, so I guess I did too. Yeah, I like Smallville a lot. I actually found out. Do you remember?
You can argue that it's not that great in the fact that they've filled it in with so many unneeded episodes.
Oh, for sure. But who cares? Like, it's just more stuff that you like.
Sometimes those fillers were great. You got Seth from the OC playing a character. You get a couple of variety.
He happens to also be. He was on the first episode of The League this past Thursday.
Oh, I did not know that.
And he's like one of the out-of-towners.
What is that actor's name? Adam Brody?
Yes, that is Adam Brody. Shout out to Adam Brody. Big fans.
Big fans. Great job in Smallville. I liked when you broke your arm and tried to kill people. I was very.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that episode.
Yeah, it was like his butler was a dick, and he.
Oh, but the point I wanted to say, just Smallville reminded me of Splinter Cell. The new Splinter Cell game.
I've seen a commercial. That's about
Splinter Cell Blacklist. Okay, the guy who is
walking in a porta potty cell. That's about it.
Lana's boyfriend, who's like the quarterback.
You mean the one who was in Smallville or Supernatural?
Yeah. That was in what? No. He's the coach. You corrected me on this before.
Oh, you said he.
The boyfriend with the blonde hair.
Oh, Whitney.
Yeah.
The old one.
Whitney is the motion capture. And
good episodes, good people, but
Whitney, he's the motion capture and he's a voice actor for Sam Fisher, the Splinter Cell guy for the new game. Greg Miller did an interview with him.
Okay. How did you pinpoint that? You didn't even watch that much Smallville. That's impressive.
Because in the interview they talked about Smallville because Greg Miller is a big fan of Smallville, so they talked about it. And they had they had a, I think they had him sign. He wants every single actor who's on Smallville to come on his show up at noon.
Really?
So, and he was the first one. So he has a big board with all their faces, and he signed his
Wait, on the league?
on Greg Miller's show up at noon on IGN.
Oh, okay.
When Whitney came on, what's his name? I forget his real name.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Smallville
so
is a
Superman
great
guy Greg Miller. I don't know why we started talking about him. Well, probably because we're watching his video.
We were talking about him defending the honor of episodes 1 through 3.
Okay. Well, let's continue. You continue. Continue the video.
Hey, you are now in control. I have dubbed you controller.
All right, I'm in control.
I'd like to add that he also made Star Trek, which were great films, which he tailored them off of the Star Wars series. If you put them back to back, you can see correlations that J.J. Abrams made. The new Star Trek movie as similar as he could to the Star Wars film.
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar.
He gets abandoned on a icy land when Spock abandons him. Luke's abandoned in a Hoth area. Yeah. He's attacked by foreign creatures. So is James Tiberius Kirk. There's other things. The father-son issue, not meeting each other. I'm sure there's something out there that if you.
Oh yeah. Well, did you know actually like there's a scene in the first one when they're like, I think it's the very beginning when it's Kirk's dad is the captain.
Yeah, the actor who played Thor. He's Hemsworth. He's Liam.
Chris Hemsworth is the father?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna Google that just to be certain.
Yeah, Google it up. While you're Googling it, they're in that scene where they're like throw all of our trash out because it's sucking everything in. Like
it's Chris Hemsworth, I think.
Okay.
He is the older one, I believe. Liam is the one in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But yes, he was Thor, and he was in Star Trek, both of them apparently.
Interesting.
I don't know why he was in Into Darkness. I saw that. I don't remember him being in it. Maybe there was a flashback.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it at all.
He played George Kirk, James's father.
Yeah. Also, anyways, my point: when they're releasing all the trash into the black hole, if you look closely, there's a little R2-D2.
Really?
Yes.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is. I'm pretty sure we could. I'm pretty sure we could YouTube that and find it.
That's kind of strange to me. I mean, it's funny, but really.
Yeah,
I bet that was J.J. Abrams' approach was brilliant because people love that movie, unless you're a diehard Star Trek fan, in which case you hate whoever that freaking actor is who played Spock. I don't know why, but I love the Star Trek series that are out now.
Okay, well, yeah.
What are you looking up?
I'm looking at the video of R2-D2. I can't even tell where he is. It's so little. You can barely see it.
That is an interesting thing.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyways, what was the point that they just said that made us stop the video? Oh, J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
I loved Lost.
Never watched it. Don't plan on it. Too long.
No, it's too long. It's too many questions and.
Watched the first episode. I was already partially hooked. You know me and my
you get hooked
like cocaine.
You'd lose a month of your life.
I do. But what's recently? What was the TV series with aliens?
Falling Sky.
Falling Skies. I did it with that. I did it with True Blood. I did it with Breaking Bad. I did it with.
Yeah, I recently did it with this. I'm doing it right now with Revolution.
Oh, I did see it, season 1. That's advertised everywhere. That looks really good.
It's on Netflix. I watched up until like halfway through the first season live when it first came out last year, and I liked it a lot. I mean, that's J.J. Abrams, at least. And the guy who did Supernatural like for the first like 3 or 4 seasons.
They changed directors for that series.
Eric Kripke is part of it too. Like they have a bunch of people working on it that are really good. So I like it a lot. It's post-apocalyptic, type of stuff, which I love. Which it doesn't even matter if it's good. I'll probably like it. Just to I like a lot of stuff. All right, back to J.J. Abrams is awesome. I think he did a fantastic job with Star Trek, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job. He doesn't really make bad stuff.
Who was the actor for the new Transformers? Jason Bay. Jason Bay. Is that his name?
Michael Bay is the director.
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
That dude loves explosions.
Yeah, that's a pretty universally known thing.
I'm glad that he is not doing this.
I'm also glad.
I don't think I could handle that many explosions.
Granted, I mean, that is a pretty big assumption. I mean, because obviously the Transformers movies kind of need explosions.
Yeah, but I mean, it was slight overkill.
He did just come out with that movie Pain and Gain with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
I did not see that. I have problems with watching movies with The Rock.
I do too. He was actually okay in it though. I mean, yeah,
I liked him in Walking Tall. Then he did like Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, I mean, this is more of Walking Tall quality.
It's just like it looked not my genre.
The Rock is just huge now. He's just a massive human being, so it's ridiculous. But I enjoyed the film quite a lot. It's about like it's based on a true story of like these guys who are like gym rats in like Miami or something like that back in like the 80s, and they want to make money and stuff, so they like to start robbing stuff. It's not bad.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah. Let's keep the video going. Ready?
Yep.
Chewies. That's a
Product placement.
Product placement. Chewies.
They're delicious. It's like Reese's, but they're disguised as healthy.
Yeah. That's another thing, though. They're annualizing Star Wars, what Colin just said. So they're having 2014 or 15, I don't know what it is episode 7. But then, 1 year from that, they're making an offshoot movie, kind of like how Wolverine has his own movie. But it's gonna be like a Boba Fett movie or something else that's not around the main storyline or something like that.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a way to make more money. But I guess once again, it is Disney, which does Marvel, which I have yet to see a Marvel movie by Disney that I haven't liked. Granted, also X-Men 1 through 3 is not Marvel. I mean, it's Marvel, but Fox owns them. They own the rights to X-Men, but the rest of the Marvel universe Disney owns. Actually, no, I think.
I'm not a big fan of the Wolverine movies.
Did you see the new one? I did not see it.
I did not see it, but I am done watching Wolverine movies.
I'm done with Hugh Jackman. I'm done with Hugh Jackman with Wolverine.
He's a great actor for that part, but include other X-Men. X-Men is X-Men, not man.
Yeah,
I know they're in their movies too. X-Men Origins. There's.
I just remember back when
the Cyclops, but still, I love origin stories. I love this new X-Men First Class, Days of Future Past. This thing is gonna be sick.
That'll be awesome. Also, is it Sean Ashmore or the other Ashmore? It's not. Bobby is Iceman, and then Jimmy is the other brother. It's not Jimmy, it's Bobby. It's the same guy who's in X 1, 2, and 3, or just 2 and 3. I don't remember which ones he was in, but I like him a lot. He's good. So that'll be good. But yeah, every single Avengers related movie, Iron Man, Thor, Avengers. I liked all those a lot. So Iron Man 3, I loved. Iron Man 2, not so much. But,
I think what they do is they do a good job of adding in comedic parts into those movies, because I always feel like I get a sense of laughter out of something I wouldn't see those heroes doing. You know what I mean? Just little things.
For sure.
That's really their signature there. Let's continue and watch these guys. I love how he's saying they're trying to shove it down your throat. They're trying to shove it down your throat. Then probably a year after, when they signed over the rights to LucasArts to Disney, we'd be seeing the movie. They're actually taking the time.
Yeah, at least they're taking their time.
I'm not
Also,
saying
really,
the right thing, but they're trying here. They're not just going, oh, let's just willy-dilly,
yeah. I mean, the other thing is they're not shoving anything down anyone's throats because
they know they have a job on their hands. They know they've got a fan base that can get potentially pissed off. They know
yeah, for sure. But they also, the other thing is, they're not shoving anything down anyone's throats because you can choose not to go see this movie.
This is true.
Speak with your wallet. Speak with your wallet. Don't go.
You're a consumer. You choose whether or not to consume.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's why, yeah, Kickstarter is a whole other discussion, so we're not going to go there. But
I do love the fact that he's saying it was, you didn't know it, and I agree, that was brilliant. I don't know anything else that's done that personally. I might be, but and then going to see it, that's what makes 1, 2, and 3 so great. 1, again, I'm not huge on, but 2,
we never got to go to the movie theater to see those.
Seeing the old Anakin transform, he's a little floofy in moments, not the greatest, but seeing that battle, I think it was Mustafar with Obi-Wan, that thing I can watch 100 times. I watched it last semester 6 times.
Yeah, I mean, the third one is nice because it ties together stuff.
It does. It ties everything together, and you're just like, you see how he breaks his life. It's just...
That's one thing, though. I mean, that's another thing. It was kind of like... I remember you may not remember this. You probably should remember some of it. When we were babysat by Katie Ross.
I do remember that. I broke her back pocket of her jeans.
You ripped her back pocket as she was walking up the stairs.
Still haven't paid for it.
That's
She's a genius. I think she went to Johns Hopkins or something.
Oh, yeah, she's extremely smart. But she also, I remember, every time before I would go to bed, I would make her tell me something about Star Wars that I didn't know. Like, she knew all this stuff because she read the fan fiction and, like, the books. And, like, I didn't know that, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi trained Darth Vader.
Yeah. You didn't know that.
The movies hadn't come out yet. The new ones hadn't come out yet, so... When she said that, I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, she knew all this stuff because of reading the book. So I was like, every time she would tell me something, I was like, this is awesome. So I kind of knew, like, stuff that was supposed to happen or what didn't happen.
You still enjoy seeing it.
I did too. I mean,
but
the whole Trade Federation
thing. They love to see a hero, but they love to see a hero fall more. That's what that is right there.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was I loved that about, before I saw those 3, the mystery behind, like, what happened before? What actually came of Darth? How did he get this way? But, like, it was kind of better, like, not knowing. Like, it's kind of a mystery, the whole thing. Like, yeah, he was Luke's father. What happened? Like, you kind of, like, just leave it up to your imagination.
You know what it's similar to? It's like a book. Greatest example I can think of right now is this Divergent series I'm into. It's kind of like the new Hunger Games, but don't think of it as Hunger Games.
Okay.
It's a great thing, and I love it. I love the way it pictured in my head. But then... And I'd love to see it in person. I'd love to see it, but only my vision. I only want to see my vision, and what's going to happen is they're gonna taint it. They did that with Hunger Games.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they did with, some people hate Harry Potter, the way that they do.
The people who read it, I didn't read it, which is why I don't hate it.
I only read the first, like, 3, but like the other funny thing was the way that the Hermione, I always read it Hermione because I don't know how to say that word. So I always just said that for 3 books long, and then I saw the movie. I was like, oh, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Like, it just, you kind of create these own things. It's like your own universe. That's the greatest thing about books is, you don't get to watch something, but your brain.
You're watching it in your head.
Exactly.
The brain's an amazing thing. So is imagination.
Okay.
Let's hear what they got to say more.
Let's hear. I just love that point because I thought that was so ridiculous when that fight scene, like. He looked like a little gremlin. I was like, that is not Yoda. Like,
he's jumping around in the
Attack of the Clones
thing. Yeah, it wasn't Attack of the Clones. It was Revenge of the Sith.
No, he
goes into exile to Dagobah. Oh my good lord, I can't even pronounce it.
Dagobah.
After he fails, he's like, I failed. I must go into exile. So it's after Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. I thought he fought. Did he not fight Count Dooku?
He fights Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones, but he doesn't fight the Sith Lord until Senator Palpatine.
But doesn't he fight Count Dooku with the lightsaber?
He does. Yoda always, whenever he fights with a lightsaber. He always has his lightsaber.
Not at first though. Like at first they do like Force.
They do this stupid back and forth, like I can throw a giant
fight scene was just awful. That was like it was funny because the end of it was kind of a similar ending to the second of the of both three films. Like the end of Empire Strikes Back kind of stank. Like, all right, your hand got chopped off, fell down a bit, and we're just on the ship, and that's like how it ends.
Yeah.
And then that one was like, we fight. He lost his hand too.
Yeah.
Same,
That's why the
same
third
ending.
one is also so great because they end with that, and the start of the third one is straight action. You know how most of them start off in space and go to their place, but this one you got Anakin in his own ship, you got Obi-Wan in his own ship, a flight battle with all these ships, tiny ships, not like X-wings or whatever. And when they're fighting the Death Star, you've got like all these guys going into the stupid trench, and they all end up dying with turrets. You don't see any of this crazy like air battle.
Those air battles are
in the
way more
beginning.
fun. Yeah.
Say
Even
it
when
again?
you're playing Battlefront, it's more fun to have an air battle.
Great game, by the way.
Yeah.
Great game. Ubisoft, I believe, is one of the creators of that game. Well done.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, now it's
It's now DICE. The creators of
EA, yeah.
DICE and EA, the creators of Battlefield. Battlefield, yeah.
Which
Apparently.
hopefully they'll make one of those.
We can only hope. But yeah, they open up with this great flight scene, and then they go straight to Count Dooku and Anakin killing him. Whereas the other ones, you've got, you know, the R2-D2 and Leia being boarded by another ship, which for the time, I guess it's pretty cool. But it's like this thing was so intense. Like
Another really good point. I forget who said it in a discussion I heard. That Count Dooku is pointless, and it would have been so much more awesome if they didn't kill Darth Maul in the first one.
I agree.
And Darth Maul fill that role, and like you know the beginning of the third one where he kills Count Dooku. Like if that was Darth Maul, that'd be so much better because that was the guy who killed Qui-Gon, like the guy who saved him from slavery. And like,
I think the thing about that was that Count Dooku was
Qui-Gon's.
the trainer of Qui-Gon Jinn.
I think.
Or I think it was Obi-Wan. I don't know. It was one of the two. That's where he tied in. That's the only relevance that
the other thing is that guy.
His douchey lightsaber that was split to the side and his whole
I hate that lightsaber.
pirate old fart.
But he's that dude is like 90. He was in the Hobbit, and he was like they had to film like he couldn't travel because he was so old.
No, I mean good for him. I'm not attacking the guy. I'm attacking.
Oh no. I just thought of
I know you're not attacking him either. I just want to make sure the viewer.
No, I mean he's a great actor. He's fantastic.
Yeah. But just that role. Didn't see it.
Yeah. Well, they did what they could.
All right. Well,
back
I
to
think
the
it's a good
conversation.
discussion for today.
You're good?
I'm good for now.
I'm good too. All right, I'm going to end the
Until next
broadcast. Thanks for listening, those of you who listened. Which is probably just us, but you know, whatever. Yeah, this is Matt and JP. Anonymous. That's not our last name. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Ending broadcast.